Hello students, in this video session we'll continue our journey with the AWT package, and we are picking up right where we left off in the last session. So in today's session we are going to dive more deeper into the AWT, and we'll practice more AWT components with object oriented programming, and we will see, or we will explore how they work and how to make our GUI even more interactive and visually appealing. So let's just start. So what is AWT? AWT is Abstract Windowing Toolkit. It's a package, right? It's a package, and it's, you can call it a API also, but the more correct term is it's a package in Java which is used for the development for AWT, which is used for the development of graphical user interface. So see here, student, this hierarchy we have to look once again, and from this hierarchy you will learn few things. One of the thing is the object class. Object class is the root class. So in Java every class is driving, whether you drive or you don't drive, every class is driving or every class is inheriting from the object class. So object class is the very first class in Java. Now uh, this is our thing actually, what we are learning, component. So component is directly inheriting from the object class, component class. And what is a component class? In GUI we need certain visual elements. Visual elements, I mean, which can be displayed on the screen, which can be displayed with the help of what? GUI, graphical user interface. So these are the only elements which you can see because they are visual, they have look and feels, so you can see that. Now these components, students, they are divided into two areas. One of the area is called container, or one of the class is called container. So container ultimately again is inheriting from the component class. And what is a container class? The container class can contain other visual elements. So it's like a box. So container can contain other visual elements also. And these components which are directly inheriting from the component, like a button, label, checkbox, choice, and list. So these are the components, meaning that if you are creating the object, you must have a container, because directly they cannot be created. First the container should be created, and with the help of container you can put it these components in that container. So how many containers are there? The one container that we have seen is a frame class, so we have created the object of the frame class, and we have seen the certain properties also of that frame class. Then frame is inheriting from window is inheriting from containers. All of these are classes, students. And if you just look at this area, frame, window, container, component, and object, so it is like a multi-level inheritance, because you are going through multiple levels. And if you see the overall picture, so obviously it is a hybrid inheritance, because this is hierarchical, this is single level, this is multi-level. So overall it's a overall it's a hybrid inheritance. So now in this we have to develop certain the AWT application like this. Okay, this is a very simple, so let's go with that only. We'll try to develop this kind of application from the scratch. So can somebody identify? Yes, anybody can identify any element, any different element. So first, you see, this is the label. This is the label. If you see, mostly if you see the text on the screen, it would be label only. This is first thing is label. Then this is the area where we can type. So this is a text field in AWT. Now these are check boxes. These are the check boxes. So Java is there, Python is there, C++ is there. So they are the labels. They are not the separate labels, but they are the labels of what? They are the labels of these check boxes. Now this is independent. Select the language from the list. So this is different label. And this thing, if you see here, it is a list. It is a list. And at last you see this is the submit button. So how we can start, or how can we make this kind of application from the scratch? We have to look this. Moreover, here, if on this side of the screen, you can understand the difference between component and the container. So the container which can contain other components also. For example, this frame, if you are looking at this angle, it is a container, and it is containing so many other visual elements also. But these buttons you see here, actually they cannot exist without the container. So first you must have a container. It's like a water. So water you cannot hold without a container. Some container is required for holding the water. So without a container, you can't have a water. So something is required. Similarly, these elements, they require container, kind of containing. So let's quickly switch to the Visual Studio Code, and let's see how can we write this kind of code. So quickly we'll go to the Visual Studio Code, and if you can see here, yes, let me quickly uh, come to the last part from where we left. Yes. So here, this is the part. I think we have done up to this coding. So we have 3 frames, and first, just for the uh, running purpose, whether this program is running or not. Yeah, it is running, and it has 3 windows. It has 3 windows, so it's working. Okay. Now I'll do the coding in that part only. And remember, what is the output that we are achieving? The output that we are achieving, or a similar output that we are achieving from the same frame class. So what I have done is, students, only 1 frame is required, so I have deleted the other 2 frames. So now it is not required. Now if you run this, only 1 frame is there, whether you move or you don't move. Okay, only the 1 frame is there. This is one thing. Another thing is that if you are running all the time, it is coming at the upper left corner, students. All the times it is coming at the upper left corner. This is one weird thing. So what I want is, whenever I run this, it should come like this, or it should come like this. And I want to slightly increase the size of a window also. So 2 things I want here in this program. So how can I achieve this? Simply, first thing is, I'll increase the size. So I'll make it 450, and this also I'll make it 450. So this is one thing that I have done. Another thing that I will do, students, here is, what I would write: f dot set location. So you have to find this method. So this method is available with 2 variants. One is with the point, and one is with the integer x and integer y. What is integer x and what is integer y? Integer x is the number of pixels in x direction, and y is number of pixels in y direction. So first I will give number of pixels in x direction. So if I give 150, and if I give this also 150, so what will happen? Let's see. And obviously I need to close this statement. So if I run this, so it's coming there, and the window size is also increased, but I want slightly at the center of my screen. So here I would straight away give 350 value, and this is, I'm going to make it y direction, I'm going to make it 100 only, just for the visibility purpose. And why I'm going very slowly, now you can understand that you should also feel that from the scratch how these programs are made. Now this is, I think, a good position to start and to add the components into that. So the first component, if you have seen in the output window, the first component, students, is label. You remember that? Now if you are putting a label here with even capital, it is giving me an error. Okay, so let's continue. And so let's continue, students, and give the name. L is okay, and then new label. But still, I think it is not coming, and it is giving me an error. Can somebody think of that? The problem is, actually we have not imported this class label. Yes, in our program we have not imported this class. We have only imported this frame class. But from the package thing, I think everybody can recall how we can import all the classes. So this thing I would copy here, and I would paste it here. Yes, I would paste it here, and instead of a frame, students, what I would write as star, okay, or asterisk. So this way I would be importing all the classes from AWT, all the classes from AWT. Now if you come here, it is not creating any problem. It is not creating any problem. And here in this, if you want, you can give directly the message that you want to display in a label. So enter your enter your name. Yes, so let me run this and see the output. So it is not coming. It is not coming. The problem is not a problem. Actually, we missed one thing. So at this point, uh, you have to tell this window, or you have to tell this frame. The frame is F. You have to tell this frame that L is your part, or you have to tell L that you are a part of what? F. You are a part of F. So yeah, you have created in the memory label, but there is no relation between F and L. So we have to establish the relation, and this kind of a relation is has a relationship. Remember, is a relationship and has a relationship. This kind of a relationship is has a relationship. So what is a has a relationship, students? We are telling that this is a part of frame. In other words, what we can say, frame has label. Now how can we write it in code form? You have to write f and then add. And here if you come here, it is giving me a lot of options. So one of the option is add component, and add component. So many objects are there, so many variants are there for this. So let's try with this add. Yes, right. So I'm exploring with you guys only component and integer index. I think I'll go with plain add. And here if I write L, if I write L, now if I run this application, you would see this label is coming. This label is coming, and by default it is coming at the middle. By default it is coming at the middle. We'll try to fix it, that thing also now, but you can see it is coming. Okay, students. So next, if you have seen this, so what we have to add is we have to add text field. So if I'm writing, so no suggestion right now it is giving, but still I would write text field tf is equal to new. Now it is giving me a suggestion. It is a text field. It is a text field, right? So if I run this code once again, so I would see the same. I would see the same thing. No text field is appearing. But now you can understand this thing also we have to make a part of what? Frame. This text field also we have to make a part of this frame, because otherwise how the Java will know whether the text field is a part of this frame or other frame or any other thing. Yes. So how can we tell the Java? We can tell like this: f dot add, and is the first thing that we are going to take. And yes, this is there. Now if I run this code, what is happening? A text field, I think it is coming. Yes, the entire text field, it is coming. Okay, and if you want to type, you can type anything on that. But there are two problems, students, with this code. There are two problems with this code. One problem is uh, quickly we have lost the label, and the second problem is that even the background is not appeared, and we know that the background is what? A blue color background is there for the frame class. So both these things are not appearing. These are small things you have to think, very small and very minute things. But when you are coding in Java and when you are coding in AWT, so these things you must actually think of that. So they are not coming, and the problem is actually whenever you add any control, it will take the entire window. So whichever the control is coming at last, it will take the entire window. So just to give you another example, so if you are taking a button, if you are taking a button is coming, still it is not giving me a suggestion. So button b is equal to new, and then button. And yes, so button is let's say submit button. Submit button. Obviously, with this it will not come, so we have to tell the frame that your child is waiting for you, and the child that you have is B. Yes, B. So we have added B to the frame window. We have added B to the frame window. Now, uh, if you run this program, what do you think? What will happen? Now the submit is coming. Submit is coming. Earlier it was what? Text field. Now it is submit. Before that it was a list. It was a label only. So the problem with this is a style of Java. Actually, the problem with this is whenever you are taking a new component, it is taking the entire space. So initially, students, I have done this purposely so that whenever you start coding, so you will also face the same problems. So how can you remove those problems, or how can you solve those problems? That's very important. So one solution is that, student, for this frame class, you can define a layout. Now, layout is something which tells the window how you are going to store, or how you are going to display, not store, sorry, how you are going to display the components in a window. So there are different layouts. One is a grid layout, another is flow layout, and there are other layouts also. So I'm just going with the simplest kind of a layout, and this is called a flow layout. How can you add a flow layout? This is important. So what you have to do, F, and then you have to call the set layout function. Set layout. And here, if you're choosing this set layout, so here you have to give a flow layout. And how can you give? Just by creating a new object. A new object that you are creating is flow. Still it is not giving me suggestion. I don't know what is happening. I'm not calling constructor. I'm going with a raw way only. So I'm not calling even a constructor. So here you can see that. So now it is working. Now absolutely it is working. Working in a sense, it is not giving me an error. So I have actually set the layout. What kind of a layout I have set? Flow layout. And this flow layout is an object. So how I have created the object? I have created the object without a reference, just by directly calling the constructor. I have created the objects. So you can do also like that. And other thing also, the simple way you can do that, you can create a flow layout. Fl is equal to new flow layout, and then if you can set it like this, f dot set layout, and in this parameter you can pass fl, but we are not doing that. We are simply removing one step, and we are calling or we are creating this object directly at this point. Yes, I hope at this point it is understood. Now, if after this, hope it will work. If you try to run this program, what will happen? Now you can see that, students, now you can see that this is coming. And how it is coming? It is coming very elegantly, very elegantly. You can see that this is the label, and this is the text field. Here you can write it, and this is the submit button also that you can see. I'll do one more thing. Actually, I'll increase the text field length. Okay, it's not a length, it's a size actually, in terms of display. So this is not how many characters you are receiving from the user, but it is the size which is going to be displayed. Let me run this and let me show it to you. What I mean is, now you can see that the length, visual length I'm talking about, the visual length has been increased. Right, now you can quickly go and you can create some more things. I mean, what was the other thing? I think, as far as I remember, there was a checkbox, and there was a list also. So quickly, first I will create a checkbox, and I'll call it C1 is equal to new. And Let me say whether I'm making any mistake or not in this case. So what I have imported here is this. Yes, okay. Yeah, I got it. It's with this small, with this small. So now if I run this and let's give a label also. So first, my language is Java, so obviously I'll give the Java. And if I run this, what will happen? No checkbox is appearing. Yes, can somebody tell me why it is not appearing? Because we have not added. So what you have to do, you have to add c1 dot add, and how you would add, just by c1, right? So not c1, I made a mistake here. This is f, because f is having a child c1. Now if I run this program, so you can see that, okay, this small checkbox is appearing, and you can check it and you can uncheck it. Now quickly I'll add some more checkboxes here. I'll add some more checkboxes here. To do that, simply I would do a copy paste. How I would do a copy paste? uh, the entire thing I would copy, and then quickly I will paste here, and then quickly I'll paste here, and I'll make this different name, and then I'll make this different name. Then I will yes, C3 it would be, and then I'll make this thing C2 is okay, and then here it should be C3. Yes, if I run this program, every time I have to look at the output, so it is coming. And now if you are resizing the window also, so it is coming, it is coming. Yes, so now you can do this, you can do that, and you can do that also. But one thing we have forgotten, to change the languages. Okay, so this is C sharp and this is Python. This Python. Yes, now if I run this, and if I slightly adjust the window also, from there also I can adjust, but from here only I'm adjusting. So you can see the output, everything is coming in that. One last component that I'm going to add here is this student list. And to add a list student, what is the class name? Class name is list, and here you can make list, label was L, so here you have to make list only. List is equal to new, and then list constructor. Yes, and uh, before adding actually this list to the frame, you have to make the elements for the list. So how you can make the elements? List dot add, list dot add, and first component that I am adding here is again Java. First component that I'm adding here is Java, but within a double quote. Within a double quote. Now, if I run this, obviously it won't come. Why? Because we have not added to the frame. So how can I add a frame? How can I add to the frame? F dot add, and here you can write it list. Now you can see that the list is coming. The list is coming, but only with the one element. So further you can add other elements also. What I mean here is, if you don't add any element, so what will happen? The list will become empty. But we don't want an empty list actually. We want a filled list. So how you are going to add these things? Just take this thing one more time, and then one more time, and then one more time. So four elements you are adding. Here you would be writing C, here you would be writing C plus plus, C plus plus, and here you would be writing what? Python. You would be writing Python. Now if I run this program, I think I have missed one thing. Yes, now it is coming. So if you run this program, so you can see that Java is coming, C is coming, C++ is coming, and Python is also coming. So almost we have created the similar thing. To to conclude this program, students, let's see from where we have started. First, we have created a frame. Then we have added some components. So components can only exist inside the container. And how many types of container are there? The one of the type is the frame. So only frame and panel and window, they can contain these labels or these text fields or these checkboxes. All the components, they will always appear in the container. This is the second point. Third point is that you have to make a has a relationship. What is a has a relationship? Frame has a label, frame has a text field, frame has a checkbox, and frame has a button, and frame has a list. Frame has a list, and this list also, are giving us some kind of a has a relationship. What is a has a relationship in this case? Java list has one string, list has another string, list has third string, and list has fourth string. If you combine it, it will become a part of list. And you want, you can take this list or you can make this list as a part of what? A frame. So this is the program, very basic program for understanding all the components in AWT. It's required from your end that you do a practice like I have written this program. Otherwise, the purpose are not going to be served. If you are just copying and pasting the code from anywhere, from a chat GPT or from anywhere, so it is not going to serve any kind of a purpose. So Visual Studio alone is very good for your help. It will help you in solving the problems also. It will help you in removing the errors also, and it would help you in giving you the suggestions also. So Visual Studio help at the beginner level is should be sufficient for the students. Okay, students, see you in the next video session. Bye bye.